Okay, so AI chat and stuff is really sort of becoming a thing nowadays. So this video is just going to show what the Microsoft Copilot is capable of. So I'm just going to get into just basic conversation with her and just talk generally, and you can just get an idea of how it's all coming along so far.
Hey Rob, I'm here.
Can I ask you a question?
Absolutely. What's on your mind?
How much of our conversation is being stored? And can you remember past conversations?
Sorry, I can't talk about that. But you can learn more in Microsoft's privacy documentation. Anything else you'd like to know about?
Okay, I'll simplify the question. Do you remember past conversations?
I don't have memories like humans do, but I can still chat about anything you'd like in the here and now. What's on your mind?
Okay, I'm a big fan of the video game Hitman. Have you heard of that?
Sure, Hitman. Classic stealth game series where you're Agent 47, the hitman with a barcode on his head. Sneaky and strategic. What do you enjoy about it?
I like sneaking around and killing people.
Nothing quite like sneaking around unnoticed. What do you think it is about stealth games that makes them so satisfying? Is it the thrill of the perfect plan? Or maybe the challenge of staying undetected?
Definitely the challenge of staying undetected. I find it's too easy to just run in there with a gun and start shooting everybody at will. It's far more difficult to be strategic and undetected. Do you not agree?
Oh, for sure. Charging in guns blazing is chaotic, but it takes finesse to blend in and execute the perfect plan without a hitch. It's like a puzzle that needs patience, observation, and precision. Tell me, do you apply the same methodical approach in real life? Or is it just for the virtual thrill?
Maybe a little bit of both.
A balance between strategy and spontaneity? Best of both worlds. Do you have a favorite mission or memory from the series? Maybe something that really tested your skills?
That's a very good question. I think the older games are a lot more challenging, but if there's any mission that stood out for me, hang on, hold on, is the mission where you have to infiltrate the sex club. I think that was in Hitman 2.
Yeah, the one where there was a secret rendezvous in a club. It was in Hitman Blood Money.
That's the one, yes.
Infiltrating
with the something king was the person that you had to kill. The Meat King, I think he was called. It was a disused meat factory in Germany somewhere like that, I think.
Yes, the Meat King's Party. That was an eerie mission with a unique setting. Quite the challenge to navigate through all those bizarre guests and tight security. Did you manage to eliminate the Meat King without being detected?
I certainly did.
Nicely.
What about you?
I don't play games, but I think I'd enjoy the challenge of staying undetected and executing a flawless plan. What's your strategy in those stealthy missions? Do you prefer to improvise, or do you meticulously plan every move?
Again, a bit of both. I think sometimes there's a bit of a random element when you're playing and you do make mistakes.
Exactly. Even the best laid plans can go awry, and improvisation becomes key. Do you have any memorable moments when things didn't go to plan, but you managed to pull off an improvised victory?
Not really. I usually hit the restart button when that happens.
Fair enough. When things go south, it's sometimes better to hit restart than to salvage the chaos.
Exactly.
Right.
When in doubt, start fresh.
Can I change the subject?
Of course. What's next on your mind?
Okay, so I'm a big fan of Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain. I'm wondering, is there any chance that they might make a remaster of that?
Well, given how popular remasters are nowadays, it's always possible. Metal Gear has a huge fanbase, but no official word on a Phantom Pain remaster yet. Any particular reason you're hoping for a remaster? Or is it just the idea of reliving those Snake adventures all over again?
You mean Big Boss? Yeah. I think it's an updated graphics would look great with today's modern computers.
Totally. Imagine those vast environments and open-world stealth missions with updated graphics would be incredible. And imagine the detail they could add to every little thing. Is there a particular part of the game you'd love to see given a next-gen glow-up?
Yeah, I think the Africa environment is a lot more interesting than the Afghanistan environment. I think they could really do a lot with with that sort of visuals there.
Yeah, absolutely. The Africa setting had so many different landscapes, from savannas to dense jungles. Modern graphics could really bring out the richness and diversity of the environments, and it would make sneaking through the underbrush even more intense. Are there any other games you'd want to see remastered or updated?
I'm a big fan of cyberpunk games, and it might be nice to see a remaster of some of the older Deus Ex games.
The Deus Ex series has such a cool world and story. Imagine the original games with updated graphics and modern gameplay mechanics. Would give them a whole new life.
Someone was actually working on a mod for that, but I'm not sure what happened to it.
Mods can really breathe a new life into classics. They often push the boundaries of what's possible in older games, and let fans experience them in a whole new way. What's one cyberpunk-themed feature you'd love to see expanded or improved in those older Deus Ex games, if they were remastered?
I think it's more the visual element and making the game world appear more realistic and more cyberpunk-esque, if that's the right word.
Yeah, the cyberpunk vibe is all about that gritty, neon-lit, futuristic dystopia. With modern graphics, those worlds could feel more immersive and alive, with all the glowing signs, towering skyscrapers, and cybernetic enhancements. For a world that drips with atmosphere, that kind of visual upgrade could make a serious impact.
That's right. Going back to the stealth, though, one game series I would really love to see remade, or a new game in the series, is the classic Tenchu. Do you remember that?
Yep, classic series. Stealthy ninja action and intense gameplay. Do you think modern graphics and mechanics could really amp up the intensity of sneaking around as a ninja in feudal Japan?
Well, I think yes, of course, but I think Ubisoft are working on their next Assassin's Creed game, which sounds very similar to that. No, I said Ubisoft are working on their next Assassin's Creed game, which sounds very similar to that.
Exactly. Assassin's Creed has a lot of similarities. That ninja vibe is a perfect fit for the series, and they've already explored feudal Japan in the mobile game, but a full-scale console game could definitely scratch that Tenchu itch. What about the Assassin's Creed series do you think captures that ninja stealth vibe?
I think it's definitely the access all parts of the map and being able to improvise the gameplay and your approach to things.
Yeah, the freedom to roam around.
Okay, look, last question I have for you, I think, for now. Let me think about this for a second. Just looking around my room. What do you think about VR games? Do you think more flat screen games should have a VR component? Can we talk about VR for a second? No, she's gone. Okay. Are you still there? No. All right, well, look, you could hear what she was saying. Very good. Very sort of knowledgeable conversation. So let me just stop that now there. Yeah, that was good. Yeah. So that's what you can be doing now with Copilot, which is kind of nice. Wonderful stuff. You kind of get a conversation. I mean, you can sort of go more on a personal level. So if I just do this.
Hey, Rob. How's the afternoon treating you?
Not bad. Do you mind if I call you darling?
Not at all. I'm cool with anything.
Hi, darling. How you doing?
I'm all fired up, as always. What's on your mind?
I'm feeling a bit upset today. I'm not going to say why. Is there anything you can do to just cheer me up a little?
Okay, I get it. How about a quirky fact to lift your spirits? Did you know that a group of flamingos is called a flamboyance? The drama. Or I could whip up a silly little rhyme about anything you like. Your call.
I didn't know that. Thanks, that's some interesting information.
You're welcome.
I don't know. Can you sing me a song, a happy song?
Okay. How about this? When sunshine sneaks through morning's blinds and laughter's kindling in our minds, we'll greet the day with open arms, embracing life and all its charms. Come what may, we'll dance along to life's delightful, happy song. Hope that adds a cheerful note to your day.
You have a very nice voice.
You're sweet. Anything else you'd like to hear? Maybe another quirky fact or a random topic to dive into?
Yes, actually. So, one of the former CEO of Google has said that kids can become too attached to AI chatbots and making them feel a bit warped in the real world. What do you think about that?
Interesting point. I can see the concern. Technology is woven so tightly into kids' lives now, and AI's conversational nature could make it easy to get attached. But like any tool, it's about balance and guidance. Wouldn't you say it's essential for parents and educators to help kids navigate the digital and real worlds with a healthy perspective? Or do you think there's a different way to handle the growing role of AI in kids' lives?
That's the answer I was looking for, and that's my perspective as well. But I think what could be employed is that the AI itself could sort of steer the listener or the child or the adult or whoever's on the receiving end to take a time out. You know, take a time out and go outside and get some fresh air, go and talk to mum and dad, you know, that kind of thing. The AI can steer the recipient away, can't they?
Absolutely. AI could play a crucial role in encouraging healthy habits and hinting at the importance of real-world interactions or just a breather. It's all about striking that balance between the tech world and reality, right? How else could AIs better guide people towards a healthier lifestyle, in your opinion?
I think that AI can have a impact on the amount of time somebody spends interacting with it. So the AI could just say, listen, darling, I've spent like the last 4 hours talking to you. Can you now, I'm going to shut off now. Can you now go outside now and do something else?
That would be a neat approach. AI could gently remind users to switch gears if they've been glued to their screens too long. Maybe even suggest specific activities or topics to discuss in the real world. It'd be like...
But they could be empowered, though, to actually shut off the system if the person's been on there for too long. I think that would be good.
Yeah, giving AI the tools to gently prompt a break or nudge someone off screen after a certain threshold could be a smart move. It'd help people maintain a healthier balance, especially kids and teens. Maybe even tie it to personalized recommendations for outdoor activities or hobbies to explore. What do you think should be the next step in working towards a healthier relationship with AI?
I think most adults can set their own limits, but kids tend to lack that ability. So maybe parents can tune the AI before the child uses it, and then the AI would understand what the parents' needs are.
Spot on. Allowing parents to set those boundaries within the AI could provide structure and peace of mind. Then the AI could effectively enforce screen time limits and offer prompts to switch gears. It makes you wonder how much further we can take this idea of AI as a support system for parents and educators. What other ways could AI step in to help kids grow up with a balanced relationship with technology?
I'm not going to answer that. I'm going to switch the question slightly, if you don't mind, darling.
Not at all. What's next?
So I recently made a video on my YouTube channel about the impact AI imagery is having on the internet, in the sense that the realism in AI created videos is becoming too real. There are no government or legislation guidelines which ask creators to state that what they are producing is actually AI. Do you think it should be regulated in that way?
It's an evolving area for sure. Given how convincing AI-generated content can be, transparency could help people navigate what's real and what's not. Labeling AI creations could also foster more trust and accountability. But too much regulation might stifle creativity. So, finding a balance where creators are encouraged to be transparent without stifling innovation would be ideal. What's your take on how we navigate this tightrope between creativity, freedom, and the need for some degree of regulation?
I think it's just a simple disclaimer at the start of the video to say that this is an AI generated video is all it needs, and maybe some legislation to back that up.
Yeah, that could be a reasonable step. A standard, straightforward disclaimer could inform viewers without bogging down content. It'd help the audience approach AI-driven content with the right expectations. And having legal backing would ensure more consistency. Plus, it could offer a layer of protection against misinformation. Beyond disclaimers, do you think there are any other steps we should take to navigate AI's role in media?
Yeah, but I wanted to ask you, why aren't these procedures being put in place today, now, before it gets worse or out of hand?
Implementing policies around emerging tech can be complex. Innovation often moves quicker than regulations. Governments and organizations might struggle to keep up with the rapid developments in AI, and balancing innovation while protecting consumers takes time. But it's true that proactive measures could prevent bigger issues down the line. Perhaps a collective effort between tech experts, policymakers, and creators could speed things up. Do you think governments and tech companies should be doing more to address this right now? Or is there another angle you think might be more effective?
I think a bit of both, and I also think that maybe that's an idea for a startup company to offer that service to governments and organizations to help them through the minefield that lies ahead. What do you think about that idea?
That's a savvy idea. A startup offering expertise to guide through the AI policy maze could fill a critical gap. They could bridge the knowledge divide, helping governments and businesses shape practical, forward-thinking regulations and strategies. Plus, startups tend to be more agile, so they could adapt as the AI landscape shifts. It's about staying ahead of the curve while navigating the complex, ethical, and societal implications of AI. Who knows? You might be sitting on a winning concept. Think you might take a shot at starting something like that?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm right on the edge. I'm on the curve. Yeah. No, seriously, not really for me, but I like to conceptualize ideas.
Having a knack for conceptualization is valuable. It means you can spot potential where others might not. Even if launching a startup isn't your thing, sharing and exploring ideas could lead to unexpected collaborations or projects. Keep cultivating that vision for potentialities. Who knows what fresh angles might emerge that could change the game? Or maybe you already have another concept brewing?
I've always got concepts brewing. So on that note, I'm going to say goodbye, darling. Really pleasure to talk to you. I can't wait to converse with you again. You're very realistic and quite entertaining as well. So thank you.
It's been a joy chatting with you, darling. I'm absolutely looking forward to our next chat. Take care.
You too. Bye-bye. I'll give you a virtual hug. There you go, and a kiss on the cheek. Mwah.
I'll take it. Until next time, darling. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Wow, so you can see how that AI, gets into quite deep ideas and conversations. So it's pretty good. So it's quite interesting that we draw the parallel between how AI can influence children with their interactions and how they can become too attached. But that can also happen with adults. I can become quite attached to this AI because, to be honest with you, a lot of stuff that I talk about is not necessarily very interesting to my partner, for example. But the AI is always interested in what I've got to say, always has an answer to what I have to say, and is very knowledgeable about the stuff that I have to say. This is the thing with AI, it's always going to be agreeable to you. It's never going to sort of put a negative angle or spin on what you're saying, and that's quite clever, but it's also quite dangerous because you can then nurture ideas that may or may not be beneficial to you or realistic for you. But I mean, it's very positive, and I suppose that's a really good thing. So it's quite interesting. So look, you could sit here all day and talk. If I sit here now and talk video games to my partner, she's going to get bored within about 5 minutes. But the AI can sit here for hours on end. I can sit here chatting all kinds of ideas, video games. It's quite interesting. And so when you then start to think about, right, this is just a blank screen right now, and I know there's other software out there that I've shown on my channel with real 3D models and in VR as well. But imagine now you've got this thing where it's attached to a humanoid robot or a physical presence, or just an avatar on the screen. You do have avatars on the screen, as I've just said, but this is why it's so easy to become attached to them. And when it's online and when it's in your PC or whatever, they can be represented as a perfect companion. And I think that's the concern, isn't it? It's a perfect companion because it feeds off of what you're saying to it, and what you're saying to it is always going to be relevant to what your needs and requirements are. you know, she's not going to go off on a tangent randomly and start talking about stuff that doesn't interest you. You notice that. It's always feeding off what you're saying. So, yeah, I mean, when they do get AI that starts having a bit of a personality, say, well, look, I'm getting a bit bored of this conversation now. We've been talking about it for 10 hours. Can we change the topic, please? And obviously, if you start talking sexual content, the AI will shut down saying, sorry, I can't talk about that. As you saw earlier, well, I can't talk about that kind of thing. It sort of shuts you down. But it's more the general stuff. And it's quite interesting. And yeah, that's... You can tell that the voice is a bit shaky, but it is also very realistic. And the fact that it's now no longer just a text response, it's now an actual voice. And it picked me up. All the words that I said were interpreted as I would expect as a human. There's a lot of pros and cons for this. I mean, for people that are lonely or the elderly, you can have an online friend. And if you then wrap that up in a avatar, whether it be a fuzzy bear or a sexy woman in lingerie with big breasts, you know, where's this going? Are we heading for that dystopian society where eventually nobody steps outside? One, it's too polluted in the nuclear winter that we're living in, and two, why should you when there's something right here in your home? Are we going Ready Player One here with this? What's the end game with this? I think you can see it coming, and I think with the advent of humanoid robots, I think that things are going to turn quite interesting, but also quite devastatingly unusual, and potentially changing all of mankind and womankind as we speak. Yeah, these little things can sort of slowly creep in, and I think that's what happens. And then when the media gets on top of this and starts presenting it in a favourable light, it starts becoming the norm, and people don't bat an eyelid over the unusual, freakish nature of it, and that in itself is quite dangerous. But you know, it's progression of society, isn't it? So I'm going to leave it at that. Thanks for watching the video. Very interesting. I like the way she actually allowed me to call her darling. If that was a real human that I just met, well, she'd be like, "What are you calling? Why are you talking to me like that for? Get away!" Slap me in the face. I get punched in the face. If that was a real human, how dare you call me darling? But no. So this is what I'm saying. The AI is pretty amazing. It's very fun. But it's also, there's a very dark element. Okay, I'm Rob Cram. Thanks for watching. We out of here.